What's going on, football world? It's Carter with X's and O's, and on this video I will be discussing an offensive formation system used to communicate various formations and modifications within those systems. But this video will specifically relate that system to I formation and modifications for the I formation. This is part one of a multiple part series, and I would encourage you, if you have not already done so, to go back to the video I made that is titled Offensive Formation Name and Modification System. That will give you a good base and platform for this video and other videos that go within this type of series. Let's begin with the first element, and if you have watched the video, this is not going to necessarily go in order of the template that I discussed in that video, but it will make sense to you. But the first part I want to discuss is tight end placement, and this is a big part in this type of system, or big element, critical element in this type of system to get players aligned where you want them to go. And when you are communicating tight end placement, you are essentially communicating left, or you are communicating right. Do you want the Y receiver, the tight end, to go on to the left, or do you want the tight end or Y receiver to go to the right? Let's begin. Again, we are talking about I formation, and so I'm going to put in the top right formation names as they relate to the modification or the formation we are talking about. It's kind of one and the same. So this is an I left, so we know that we have an I backfield, which the fullback and tailback and quarterback are in alignment right behind the center, offensive center. And then we have our Y placement, so the Y would go to the left, which would tell the Z receiver he would line up also to the left off of the line of scrimmage, because we don't want to cover up the Y or the tight end, so he remains eligible. And that would put our X on the right side on the line of scrimmage. Moving over into the right column, we will have a I right. And by simply changing the Y placement or the tight end placement, you can see, and I'll go ahead and do the I backfield first. So we have our quarterback, our fullback, and our tailback, and we put our Y on the right now, I right, and that tells our Z to also go to the right, again keeping or staying off the line of scrimmage so that our Y is uncovered, and our X would go to the left. So therefore, with that simple designation of the Y placement, now we already have two formations, I left or I right. Let's continue to build down below. Let's move into a backfield modification. So I'm actually going to put that down below here. Backfield modifier. Again, if I abbreviate modification, it will just be MOD. Backfield mod. And we are going to specifically discuss the queen because this is a great way to modify the I formation. Queen equals F minus the Y. And I'll show you what I'm talking about here in just a second. I know it kind of looks like math, but that's why I love doing it this way too. It keeps it nice and clean, easy for players to remember, young coaches to remember. It's not what you know, it's what your players know. A king would equal F plus the Y. And this will build upon what we spoke about above. So let's drop in a formation name. Let's say we have I, queen, I queen, and we are going to place the Y on the left side. So let's build this. Put our quarterback behind the center, and we will put our tailback behind the center. I'm going to leave the fullback out for now, and I'll show you why in just a second. But there's our Y on the left side, which again keeps our Z on the left side off the line of scrimmage, and our X to the right on the line of scrimmage. And as you can see below, the queen equals F minus Y. So that would put my fullback on the right side minus or away from the tight end. F minus Y. He is away. He is in a queen formation. So there we have I queen left. Very simple formation. And just with that small cue change or modification, backfield modifier, we can change the formation. And there are various reasons why you may want to get into a queen set or a king set. I won't get into that too much in this video for time's sake, but basically to gain an advantage somewhere on the football field. Over here we're going to have a king, I king, right. And so let's put in our I minus the modifier. So there's our I formation with the tailback, quarterback aligned right behind the center. We know that the Y or the tight end will be on the right side of the formation, which would put our X on the left side on the line of scrimmage and our Z to the right side off of the line of scrimmage. King equals F plus Y, and so that would put our fullback, his inside toe would be aligned with the offensive guard's outside heel, which would place the fullback somewhere in the B gap with his hand in the dirt about, well, if you want him in a three-point stance, I always tell my fullback to put his hand in the dirt about 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage. So you would have a I king with the tight end placement being on the right. Now, for the sake of the players and to keep the verbiage down and to keep it as simplified as possible, whenever I put a backfield modifier with the I formation, as you can see, I drop the I. And so I would just call this queen left, and I would call this king right. My players and coaching staff know that it is a given. It is a given if I call a queen or a king that we are out of a I formation base. Let's move down and let's add in one more backfield modifier that you could add to this. Again, this is part 1 of a multiple part series, and if you have watched that video before, I will give you the title of that again. Offensive Formation Name and Modification System. You know that there is the offensive formation naming system can get very complex. So there's not enough time or space on this video, and that's why there's going to be part 2, so on and so forth, as I continue on with this series. But the other backfield modification I would like to show you would be simply adding a QB shotgun call. A QB shotgun call, which is just simply called gun in my terminology. And by adding that, we can make another little tweak or modification to the play call. So adding on to what we have above, it would be queen left, queen, or excuse me, before we go into the left, we would add gun. It would be queen gun left. And that template is all broken down on the video I mentioned before. queen, gun, left. And so now we know the Y is to the left. We'll go ahead and place the receivers, Z, X, and we know that the quarterback is in shotgun. I'm going to put him about 5 yards back, tailback behind him, heels at 7 or so. And then we have a queen, F minus Y, and we put him around the same location. And that would give us a pistol style off balance formation like so, where you can run a little zone read and open that up a little bit. So that's a nice modifier. Queen, gun, left. Let's do our last example over here with the gun call. King, gun, right. And you can see how building up with the modifiers, you can really gain some flexibility in your formations and what you want to run. Let's put in the Y, or the tight end. So he's on the right. That would keep our X on the left side on the line of scrimmage. Z is with the tight end on the right side off the line of scrimmage. Quarterback is in gun. Tailback is right behind him in a pistol type look. And then this is a king call, and so the fullback would remain F plus Y. He is with the Y. He is to the Y side. So we have a king, gun, right. So as you can see, great formational system to gain some flexibility with your play calling, to gain mismatches, pick on weaker defenders, get matchups that you like as an offensive coordinator. Easy to communicate. I encourage you to go back and watch that video I've been talking about, and hopefully this will help you in your offensive attack in the future. Again, this video has addressed a offensive formation system as it relates to I formation modifications. This is part 1 of a multiple part series. Please stay tuned. There will be more videos to come in this series. Hopefully this has added to your knowledge of the game, whether you are a player, a coach, or a fan. If you'd like to see a video in the future, please leave me a comment in the comment section below, or email me at xzandos.com. And please like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and there will be more videos to come.